Have you ever gotten dressed, looked in the mirror, and sighed? Not because something was wrong exactly, but because something was missing. The color might be fine, the fit might be okay, but somehow, the reflection staring back doesn't feel like you. Not the you that feels alive and intuitive. Not the woman you know you still are, beneath the layers, beyond the years, underneath the expectations. And here's the truth most people won't say out loud. After a certain age, fashion doesn't shout at you anymore, it whispers. Sometimes it vanishes altogether, into practicality, comfort, and playing it safe. But elegance? Elegance doesn't vanish. It evolves. If you've felt that quiet ache of opening your wardrobe and seeing clothes that no longer reflect the grace you've grown into, I want you to know, you are not alone. You don't need a closet overhaul. You don't need to chase trends. And you certainly don't need to spend money to feel radiant again. Today, I want to gently walk with you through 5 kinds of tops that don't just look elegant. They help you reconnect with a version of yourself that's been waiting to reemerge. A version that's soft, powerful, and wholly yours. These are not fashion tips. They are reminders, invitations, little nudges back to your inner grace. And the best part? You might already own them. They may be quietly waiting for you, just like you've been waiting to feel like yourself again. So let's begin, not with reinvention, but with rediscovery. Let's start with the most effortless one. The piece that's probably been there all along, waiting patiently in your closet for its return. If this video already speaks to a part of you, a part that longs for simplicity, elegance, and ease, I'd be so honored if you'd subscribe to this channel. Leave a comment and let me know how you feel about your own style right now. And if you find beauty in this kind of content, please give it a like. It truly helps more women like us find their way back to themselves, too. Now, let's step gently into the first piece. His soft white blouse. There's something about a white blouse that feels like a breath, not a statement, not a scream, just a quiet inhale, the kind that resets you, the kind that softens the lines around your face and makes your reflection exhale back. This isn't about wearing white for the sake of looking clean or classic. This is about light, soft light, the kind that dances off fabric, that gently bounces toward your cheekbones, that creates space around your collarbone and neck. That kind of blouse. The kind of white that isn't harsh or blinding, but creamy, fluid, almost like morning light peeking through a linen curtain. A soft white blouse doesn't try to be anything. It just is. It adapts. It slips under a blazer, ties at the waist, or floats freely over soft trousers. It becomes what you need, whether that's grace, ease, or a quiet kind of authority. But more than how it looks, it's about how it makes you feel. Elevated, but not overdressed. Comfortable, but not careless. And most of all, seen. Not for what you're wearing, but for the presence you carry when you wear it. There's a reason it never goes out of style, not because it's trendy, but because it's timeless. It whispers of simplicity, refinement, and self-respect. So if you're ever unsure of what to wear, for dinner, for travel, for a walk through your own thoughts, reach for the white blouse that asks nothing of you, the one that doesn't need accessories or applause, the one that lets you shine, softly. Because elegance isn't always in the details. Sometimes, it's just in the light we allow back into our lives and around our faces. Let's move to the next piece, something equally soft, but even closer to the skin. The draped jersey top. There are days when structure feels like a costume, when buttons feel too firm, seams feel too stiff, and the idea of putting on something fashionable feels like stepping into someone else's life. On those days, and honestly, even on the good ones, there's a kind of top that doesn't demand anything from you. It doesn't squeeze or sculpt or try to reshape your body. It simply flows with it, honors it, moves as you move. That's the beauty of a draped jersey top. It doesn't hug, it holds. It doesn't cling, it rests, and in doing so, it gives you the freedom to exhale, physically and emotionally. There's a softness in the neckline, often just enough to elongate without revealing. A suggestion of movement in the fabric, like water following the lines of your body without resistance. It doesn't ask for accessories. It doesn't compete for attention. It just exists, gently, in harmony with you. This kind of piece is less about dressing up and more about feeling at home in your own skin. Because as we grow older, wiser, we realize something. The most powerful garments are not the ones that get the most compliments. They're the ones that make us breathe a little easier, stand a little softer, show up more fully without needing to explain ourselves. A draped jersey top isn't loud, but it's unforgettable in its quiet presence. It's often the one you reach for without thinking, and then, mid-morning, realize you feel good in a way that's hard to describe, but easy to recognize. It's comfort with grace, simplicity with intention, and in a world that often tells women to tighten, lift, conceal, and edit, there's something beautifully rebellious about choosing softness instead. Let's continue to the next piece, one that adds a bit more crispness and character without ever overpowering your natural elegance. The borrowed shirt. There's something wonderfully freeing about wearing something that was never meant to fit perfectly. The shirt you borrow, from your partner, from a thrift store, from your past, holds a kind of relaxed magic. It carries with it no pressure, no pretension, and somehow, in that space, you find a version of yourself that feels lighter, more effortless, more real. The borrowed shirt is less about what it is and more about what it represents. Ease, simplicity, the kind of confidence that doesn't need to prove itself. It drapes instead of defines. It suggests instead of demands. When you wear it, you're not shouting style, you're whispering it. And somehow, that whisper travels further. It says, I know who I am, and I don't need to dress loudly to be heard. There's charm in the way it falls. There's strength in its structure, and there's beauty in its unexpectedness, that masculine crispness softening into feminine freedom. Whether it's layered loosely, half-tucked, or tied at the waist, the borrowed shirt lets you shape it, not the other way around. And that, in itself, is power. It's not trying to impress anyone. It's not trying to make you look younger or thinner or trendier. It's just there, reliable, clean, honest. Like the clothing equivalent of a deep breath on a chaotic day. You don't need to style it perfectly. In fact, it's better when it's slightly undone. Rolled sleeves, open collar, a casual knot, all signs that you've stopped dressing for perfection and started dressing for presence. The borrowed shirt doesn't try too hard, and that's exactly why it works. Because when you stop chasing the ideal and wear something that gives you space, you begin to embody elegance instead of chasing it. Now let's return to softness, to earth, to grounding colors and quiet strength, in the next piece that brings warmth not just to your outfit, but to your energy. We spend so much of our lives being told that elegance comes from outside ourselves, from the price of the fabric, the name on the label, the shine of a necklace, or the cut of a jacket. But with time, with living, losing, growing, we start to realize that elegance was never something to put on. It was something to come home to. The way you stand when you feel understood. The quiet smile when you wear something that doesn't just flatter, but reflects. The comfort of knowing you didn't spend a cent, and yet, somehow, you feel rich in yourself. That is elegance. The truth is, no one else can define it for you anymore. You don't need to chase trends or shop for reinvention. Sometimes, the most elegant decision is the one where you pause, look at your wardrobe, and see it with new eyes. Eyes that say, I already have enough, I just needed to feel it. You may already own every top I mentioned today, or you may only have one. But the real gift isn't in the piece itself, it's in the reconnection, in seeing something simple and remembering who you are when you wear it, because style is seasonal. But self-trust? That's timeless. Let your elegance be quiet. Let it be worn in. Let it come from the way you breathe when something fits your energy, not just your body. And the next time you stand in front of the mirror and sigh, maybe that sigh isn't exhaustion. Maybe it's a moment of coming back to yourself. If this video spoke to you in some small way, I'd truly love to know. Share with me in the comments. Which piece are you already rediscovering in your wardrobe? Or what's something you've been wearing that helps you feel connected to your softness again? And if you haven't already, feel free to subscribe for more gentle reminders like this about beauty, age, confidence, and returning to who we truly are. Your presence here means the world. Thank you for spending this quiet, beautiful moment with me. Until next time, wear your ease, wear your light, and wear you.